the 2018 Central Moriches Middle School Moving Up Ceremony. I am Melissa Reggio, the middle school principal, and I am honored to be here tonight. Before we begin, I would like to point out our emergency exits. We have 3 exits in the back and 1 on either side of the stage. Additionally, if you can please silence all electronic devices at this time as a courtesy to our student graduates, we would greatly appreciate it. Tonight's Moving Up ceremony is going to be broadcasted in the LGI via a live stream. If at any point in time you need or would like to view the ceremony from the LGI, you can certainly do so. I am also excited to share that tonight's Moving Up ceremony is also being broadcasted live on our website. There's currently a link on the front page of the website to tonight's stream. If you have any family members that were not able to be here tonight, please feel free to text them now, tell them to access the Central Moriches School District website and click on the live Moving Up ceremony link. Audience members, please remain in your seats as our graduates enter and exit the auditorium so that all audience members can see the graduates. At the conclusion of the ceremony, students will be returning their caps and gowns and receiving their diplomas in the middle school gymnasium. They will meet you in the lobby once this has been completed. And now, please join me in welcoming the Central Moriches Middle School Class of 2018. Ms. Pinto, I invite the band to start the processional. Kathleen Kelly, Daniel DeCoupa, and Brennan Weinstein, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Please be seated. I would like to take this time to introduce and welcome special guests joining us tonight. Thank you to the Board of Education members, Board President Mr. Foster, Vice President Mr. Early, as well as this year's board members, Ms. Dench, Mr. Hogan, Mr. Maxwell, and Ms. Rayburn. I would like to give a special welcome to our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Russell Stewart. Thank you for all of your support, guidance, and leadership throughout this school year for both myself, our faculty, and most of all, our students. We have former Board of Education members joining us here tonight. These founding board members were the driving force behind the opening of Center Moriches Middle School. Even though it is over a decade later, I would like to personally thank you on behalf of all of us at the middle school. A special welcome to Ms. Tyson and Mr. Fury. I would like to thank Linda Greening. You have been a wonderful addition to the middle school team this school year, and we are thrilled to have you. Thank you to my other administrative colleagues who are present tonight, our Assistant Superintendent for Student Services, Personnel, and Instructional Technology, Mr. Soto, and students, your former principal, Mrs. Hardwick, and your next principal, Mr. Caswell. Thank you to Chief Wallace, Chief of the Uncochunk Nation, for joining us tonight. Thank you to our supervisors of buildings, grounds, and maintenance, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Von Bronsberg, and Mr. Fulton. The countless hours your team puts in setting up for an event like this is incredible. Thank you to Mr. Towson and his wonderful security team for their assistance outside and for supervising this event. Thank you to Ms. Roseanne Cunningham and Ms. Janice Berry, who do such a wonderful job organizing the caps and gowns for us every year. Thank you to Mr. Clancy and Mr. Turnow for their assistance with lights and sound tonight. Thank you to the parents of our 8th grade students. Your support of the middle school, our teachers, myself, and most of all, your children has been incredible. It was an honor to work with you in partnership for the past 3 years. Lastly, I would like to thank the people that make this evening possible, and they are the faculty and staff members at the middle school. I would like to pause and extend a special thank you to all of you. I am blessed to have such a hardworking, supportive, and dedicated staff filled with individuals that truly care about your children. Joining us tonight, some on stage and some in the audience, to support our school and our students are Ms. Donna Bennett, Ms. Janice Berry, Mr. Tim Clancy, Miss Roseanne Cunningham, Miss Mary DeLello, Miss Renee DeMayo Bridgewood, Miss Courtney Fabian, Miss Stephanie Foster, Miss Lauren Matinka, Miss Teresa Horachevsky, Miss Maria Krusher, Miss Susan Lang, Miss Kathleen McCormick, Miss Irene Navis, Mr. Glenn Pepe, Miss Sarah Pinto, Miss Jen Porter, Mr. Gregory Shower, Miss Catherine Sebesta, Miss Tracy Segerson, Mr. Eric Slipstein, Mr. Robert Spicer, Miss Jessica Spillett, Miss Deb Topurkis, Mr. Brad Turnow, Mr. Rich Velati, Mr. Larry Bolger, and Mr. Chris Winslow. A very special thank you to our middle school office staff, Mrs. DeLello and Mrs. Krusher, who have done so much work behind the scenes to help make tonight possible. Ladies, I can't thank the both of you enough. At this time, please join me in welcoming our keynote address speaker, our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Russell Stewart.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education, our principal of Senator Rich's Middle School, Dr. Reggio, Chief of the Unconchunk Nation, Mr. Wallace, fellow administrators, our distinguished faculty, parents, relatives, friends, and of course, the Senator Rich's Middle School class of 2018. We join together tonight to take part in one of the finest traditions in education, the celebration of the successes and accomplishments of our Senator Rich's Middle School 8th grade class. Throughout the next 4 years, each of you will have the goal and responsibility of graduating Senator Rich's High School. I am proud to state that 100% of the current senior class at Senator Rich's High School accomplished this goal. In addition, 98% of them will receive a Regents diploma. And even more impressive is the fact that the high school is projecting over 60%, a record history-breaking number for Senator Rich's will receive advanced Regents diplomas. Lastly, over 90% of the graduates will be attending college in the fall. I am confident that when I stand in this place in June of 2022 at your high school graduation, I will be able to say that the class of 2022, your senior class, has achieved the best results of any class in the history of Senator Rich's High School. I would like to congratulate you and commend you, class of 2018, on your hard work and success thus far. In the years to come, you will be learning a great deal academically, socially, and morally as you continue to shape your life at Senator Rich's High School. As young adults, you will have the opportunity to move forward in the direction that you choose for your life. And so, I ask this 8th grade class a very trying question. Are you entering Senator Rich's High School with a purpose? Each and every one of you seated here this evening has a purpose, a reason for being in this life. 8th graders, you should be motivated by the purpose of life and by specific purposes prevalent and relevant in your own lives. A life of purpose is characterized by determination, passion, vitality, and the continuous seeking of excellence in all aspects of life. A life of purpose is the only way to live. Some may say to you, 8th graders, some may say that life without a purpose is an empty life. But I will tell you, to live this life without purpose is as if one is not living at all. I would like to further elaborate with a true story regarding 2 people who found purpose. Many years ago, there was an elementary teacher. Her name was Mrs. Thompson. As she stood in front of her 5th grade class on the very first day of school, she told the children that she loved them all the same. But that was a lie. because there, in the front row, slumped in his seat, was a little boy named Teddy Stoddard. Mrs. Thompson had watched Teddy the year before, and she noticed that he could be quite unpleasant, that he didn't play well with the other children, his clothes were messy, and that he constantly needed a bath. It got to the point where Mrs. Thompson would actually take delight in marking his papers with a broad red pen, making bold X's, and then putting a big F at the top of his papers. At the school where Mrs. Thompson taught, she was required to review each child's past record, and she put off Teddy's until the last. However, when she reviewed his file, she was in for a surprise. Teddy's first grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is a bright child with a ready laugh. He does his work neatly, and he has good manners. He's a joy to be around." His second grade teacher wrote, "Teddy's an excellent student, well liked by his classmates, but he is troubled because his mother has a terminal illness, and life around home must be a struggle." His third grade teacher wrote, "His mother's death has been hard on him. He tried to do his best, but his father doesn't show much interest, and his home life will soon affect him if steps are not taken." Teddy's fourth grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is withdrawn and doesn't show much interest in school. He doesn't have many friends, and sometimes he even sleeps in class." By now, Mrs. Thompson realized the problem, and she was ashamed of herself. She even felt worse when all of her students brought her beautiful Christmas presents wrapped in beautiful ribbons and bright paper, except for Teddy. His present was clumsily wrapped in a heavy brown paper that he used from a grocery bag. Mrs. Thompson took pains to open it in the middle of the other presents. Some of the children started to laugh when she found a rhinestone bracelet with some of the stones missing, and a bottle that was 1/4 full of perfume. But she stifled the children's laughter when she exclaimed how pretty the bracelet was, putting it on and dabbing some of the perfume on her wrist. Teddy Stoddard stayed after school that day just long enough to say, "Mrs. Thompson, today you smelled just like my mom used to." After the children left, Mrs. Thompson cried for at least an hour. On that very day, Mrs. Thompson quit teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic, and instead, she began to teach children. Mrs. Thompson paid particular attention to Teddy. As she worked with him, his mind seemed to come alive. The more she encouraged him, the faster he responded. By the end of the year, Teddy had become one of the smartest children in the class. A year later, Mrs. Thompson found a note under her door from Teddy, telling her that she was the best teacher he ever had in his whole life. Six years went by before she received another note. He then wrote that he had finished high school third in his class, and she was still the best teacher he ever had in his whole life. 4 years after that, she received another letter saying that while things had been tough at times, he had stayed in school, had stuck with it, and would soon graduate from college with the highest of honors. And he assured Mrs. Thompson that she was still the very best and favorite teacher he ever had in his whole life. Then 6 more years passed, and yet another letter came. This time he explained that after he obtained his bachelor's degree, he decided to go a little further. The letter explained that she was still the best and favorite teacher he ever had, but now his name was a little longer. The letter was signed Theodore F. Stoddard, M.D. The story does not quite end there. You see, there was yet another letter that spring. Teddy said he had met a girl and planned to be married. He explained that his father had died a couple of years ago, and he was wondering if Miss Thompson might agree to sit in the place at the wedding that was usually reserved for the mother of the groom. Of course, Miss Thompson did. And guess what? She wore that bracelet, the one with the several missing rhinestones. And she made sure she was wearing the perfume that Teddy remembered his mother wearing on their last Christmas together. They hugged each other, and Dr. Stoddard whispered in Mrs. Thompson's ear, "Thank you so much for making me feel important and showing me that I can make a difference." With tears in her eyes, Mrs. Thompson whispered back, "Teddy, you have it all wrong. You were the one who taught me that I could make a difference. I didn't know how to teach until I met you." 8th graders, as you enter the high school, I urge you to do so with a purpose. I urge you to find your purpose. Do not wander the next 4 years aimlessly. Do not allow those years to simply pass you by. Be the change you wish to see in your high school, your local community, your world. Commit to a noble cause. Use your talents and gifts not just for yourselves, but in service to others as well. Have purpose and truly live life. It is my pleasure to stand here before you tonight and recognize each and every one of you for your successes. You have accomplished many things during your 3 years at St. Emeritus Middle School. Now it is time for you to build up upon your accomplishments and to look towards the future, your future. Accomplish your goals, live your dreams, and help make our world a better place. I pray that you continue to learn from others, using your time wisely, following the paths of other successful St. Emeritus Middle School graduates. Congratulations, and God bless the class of 2018.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. 8th grade students who are members of the middle school band, please join the band at this time. It is with pride that I present our middle school band under the direction of Miss Pinto. They will be performing a selection called Flight of the Thunderbird. Amazing job, Miss Pinto and the middle school band. You continue to amaze me every time you play. The next segment of our ceremony this evening will be the presentation of awards. The students are unaware of who will be receiving the awards, so this will be just as much of a surprise for them as it is for you. The first award presented tonight is the Presidential Academic Excellence Award. This award is the highest academic achievement award that we will be presenting tonight. The students receiving this award have maintained a grade point average of 90 or above during their 6th, 7th, and 8th grade years at the middle school. The students receiving this award have demonstrated academic success, motivation, initiative, and integrity. Congratulations to the following recipients who will be announced by their grade 8 advisor, Ms. Phillip.
Students, please stand when I call your name and remain standing until all names are called. Audience, please hold your applause until I read all of the names. Congratulations to the following recipients: Matthew Adele, Brenda Amaya, Lillian Babzine, Daniela Faust, Brianna Bonventry, Abai Brennan, Abby, sorry, Yasmin Castro, Annabelle Cressy, Emily Daniels, James Debler Seidel, Richard DiChiaro, Olivia Dench, Daniel DeCufa, Jacob DeCoyne, Emily Farrell, Megan Farrell, Matthew Formisano, Vanessa Galvez, Caitlin Gould, Edward Gropey, Emma Ray Gropey, William Hawthorne, Andrew Ramada, Nathaniel Inzerillo, Kathleen Kelly, Leah Kilkenny, Jack Kleinman, Gabriella Kuklinski, Jordan Lannard, Samantha Lanzetta, Colin Leslie, Christian Lawnthorpe, Lewinroth, Paul Lagurcio, Jamie Luna, Emily McGee, Colin McGill, Catherine Marin, Jasmine Masolo, James McGonigal, Liam McGovern, Victoria Meath, Grace Mintel, James Mintel, Alyssa Morano, Lila Nicastro, Caitlin Nowak, Jade Knoll, Kaylee Nussbaum, John O'Brien, Riley Patanjo, Marcus Pegram, Luciano Pomara, Sydney Price, Kaylee Roberts, Helena Roy, Jack Roop, Liliana Schaefer, James Schill, Kayla Sodano, Logan Spiller, Richard Spivak, Riley Stanek, Megan Sweeney, Sarah Triumfo, William Turnow, Morella Valuzzi, Devin Warnkin, Danielle Weinhofer, Brennan Weinstein, Emily Wicks, Emma Wiegand, Philip Williams, Samantha Wallman. Please join me in congratulating the recipients.
may be seated. The second award presented tonight is the Presidential Academic Achievement Award. This award will be presented to students who've maintained a grade point average of 85 to 90 during their 6th, 7th, and 8th grade years at the middle school. The following students exemplify determination and enthusiasm in their studies. Congratulations to the following recipients who will be announced by Ms. Greening.
Students, please stand when I call your name and remain standing until all names are called. Audience, please hold your applause until I read all of the names. Congratulations to the following recipients. Joelle DeHotos Treadwell. Sabrina Kilcommons. Kai Cromhouse. Max Mastropiero. Jovi Nowak. Mariana Quick. Melanie Peralta Quisby. Chantel Roche. Alexis Sakalaridis. Alyssa Schifferstein. Kevin Vivas Alvarez. Please join me in congratulating the recipients.
Students, you may be seated. The third set of awards tonight are our faculty awards. Our 8th grade teachers have selected students in each of their subject areas to receive special recognition tonight. We will begin with Mr. Schauer, who will present the awards for mathematics.
Good evening. I have the pleasure of giving 2 math awards this evening. The first math award for Math 8 goes to Daniela Baust. And the second award for achievement in Algebra 1 goes to James Mintel. I would now like to introduce Mr. Spicer, who will be presenting the award for science.
Good evening, everyone. There are 2 awards for the science. The first award goes to Jordan Lanner. The second science award goes to Lillian Babsian. I now would like to call up Mr. Volger to distribute the Social Studies Award.
Good evening. The first Social Studies Award goes to Catherine Marin. And the second Social Studies Award goes to Brennan Weinstein. I would now like to introduce Mrs. Donna Bennett, who will be presenting the award for World Language.
Good evening. I'm doing double duty tonight. I'll be giving out awards for Spanish and for French. The first award for Spanish goes to Megan Farrell. And the second award for Spanish goes to Liliana Schaefer. And the awards for French go to Miss Kaylee Roberts. And the final award for French goes to Christian Blumenroth. I'd now like to introduce Ms. Horshevsky, who will be presenting the award for English.
Good evening. I have the pleasure of presenting the English Awards. Please congratulate Alyssa Morano first. Please also congratulate Emma Wiegand. I would like to introduce Mr. Eric Slifstein, who will be presenting the Health and Physical Education Awards.
The first Physical Education Award goes to a young man who I believe I taught in kindergarten or first grade, thereabouts, but I've known him a long time. Richard Spivak. And the second award to a outstanding young lady who also I had in either kindergarten or first grade, Helena Roy. And next up, presenting the art award is Miss DeMayo Bridgewood.
So I am proud to present the art awards to Philip Williams. The second award goes to Grace Mintel. I would now like to introduce Ms. Pinto, who will be presenting the Music Award.
Good evening. I'll be presenting the awards for chorus and band. For chorus, our first award is to Abby Brennan. Other chorus award is for Colin McGill. Crumhow. And Lillian Babzian.
The next award presented tonight is the Citizenship Award presented by Ms. Segerson.
I have the pleasure to be announcing 3 amazing students I'm about to call up have helped their community for no other reason than to be kind. Teachers and staff have taken notice of things they've done through the middle school just to help others. The first recipient is Max Mastro Piero. The second recipient is Marcus Pegram. The third recipient is Christian DeCastro.
The next award presented tonight is the Unconchug Nation Educational Achievement Award presented by Chief Wallace.
Akweni Tapiak, my son Wak Tasaris, Chikni Chishayawak, Unconchug, Iskatapawak, Biowak, Puspatapatap. Greetings, my friends and relatives. My name is Harry Wallace. I'm elected Chief of Unconchug Nation and our Turtle Clan. I'm honored always to be here and be a part of this moving up ceremonies. The Unconchug Nation Educational Achievement Award was established to honor those students from the reservation from our nation who have sustained not only outstanding academic achievement, but also outstanding effort. And we give this award proudly, this year's award, to Joel Isaiah De Hoyos Trevor.
Each year, we honor retired board members that were instrumental in the development of our middle school. The first award is the annual Lois Tinsley Spirit of Center Moriches Award. I would like to invite Mr. Bolger to the podium to present this award.
The Spirit Award honors a student who actively and positively participates in school and the school community. This year's recipient excels academically and athletically. As a member of the football, basketball, and volleyball teams, his leadership skills and his devotion to our school community was evident. This student demonstrates enthusiasm in all that he pursues, especially as the voice of Center Moriches during our middle school morning announcements. Every day, we started school listening to Mr. McGill. The recipient of the Lois Tinsley Spirit of Center Moriches Award is Colin McGill.
The next special award is the annual Michael Fury Science Award. I would like to invite Mr. Fury to the podium to present the award.
Good evening. It's my honor to be part of this ceremony and to make the annual presentation of the Science Award. The award winner this year is an extremely hardworking, dedicated, and an all-around exemplary student, as you might expect. Her perseverance and dedication to a high level of achievement is very commendable, and her work ethic is beyond compare. It is my special pleasure to award the Distinguished Science Award to Olivia Dench.
The next special award is the annual Jacques LeBlanc Technology Award. I would like to invite Mrs. Bennett to the podium to present the award.
The recipient of the Jacques LeBlanc Technology Award has been recognized for his outstanding achievements in technology, both inside and outside of the classroom. He goes above and beyond the basic understanding of technology. He is essentially a trained mechanic, which was sparked from an interest in cars from a young age. This student is also currently the record holder for the fastest maglev vehicle in all of Santa Maricha's history. He is a smart young man who we see a bright future in the field of technology. This year's recipient of the Virginia Tyson Community Service Award is someone who's very special to me. Oh, I'm sorry, the Jacques LeBlanc Technology Award is Jacob DuCoin.
The next special award is the annual Virginia Tyson Community Service Award. I would like to invite Ms. Tyson to the podium to present this award.
Good evening and congratulations, class of 2018. The Community Service Award honors the outstanding service of a student who contributes to the community by volunteering. This year's recipient has spent countless hours volunteering at the Santa Maricha's Library, the PTA, the National Junior Honor Society. She has wrapped, labeled, and sorted gifts for children with cancer. She has also made holiday cards for cancer patients and painted rocks with positive messages for the people to find throughout the community. As a Girl Scout, she has helped to assemble Easter baskets for children in need, and she has also volunteered her time in many school events and food drives. This student truly exemplifies our Santa Maricha's tradition of helping others. This year's recipient of the Virginia Tyson Community Scholarship, the Virginia Tyson Community Service Award goes to Victoria Meek.
The next special award is the annual Joseph W. McKeffey Commitment to Excellence Award. I would like to invite Mr. Pepe to the podium to present the award.
The Commitment to Excellence Award honors a student's exceptional work and commitment to high academic standards. This year's recipient not only excels academically, she excels musically, and she understands the importance of giving back to the community. As a Girl Scout, she baked dozens and dozens of cookies as a thank you to the Santa Maricha's Fire Department. She also helped make Easter baskets for children in need. She's an active member of the National Junior Honor Society and helped create and design the middle school yearbook. The student is a member of the middle school band and was selected for the New York State Band Directors Association Festival and the Hamptons Music Educator Association Festival. The recipient of the Joseph W. McKeppy Commitment to Excellence Award is Leah Kilkenny.
Our last special award is the Patricia Cunningham Peer Service Award. I would like to invite Mrs. Horchevsky to the podium to present this award.
The Peer Service Award honors a student who is friendly, helpful, respectful, and is a role model for other students. This student always has a smile on her face and is always willing to lend a helping hand to others. She is an active member of the National Junior Honor Society, member of the middle school band, member of the middle school yearbook, and a Girl Scout. She was also a member of the soccer team, and you're president of your 8th grade class. I am honored to award the Patricia Cunningham Peer Service Award to Megan Sweeney.
And now, the moment our graduates have been waiting for, the presentation of their diplomas. I would like to invite our Board of Education President, Mr. Foster, to present the diplomas to the first group of graduates. I would also like to invite 8th grade teachers, Mr. Vilger and Mr. Schauer, to the podium.
Will row one please rise? Matthew Adele. James Abel. Ida Maya. William Babsey. Anthony Valorano. Connor Barton. Daniela Faust. Jana Von Venture. Christopher Brackett. Will row one please be seated? Will row two please rise? Abby Brennan. Yasmin Castro. Vanessa Correas. Annabelle Cressy. Emily Daniels. James Debler Seidel. Richard DeChero. Joel DeHoyas Treadwell. Christian DeCastro. Will row two please be seated? I would like to invite Mrs. Dench to present the diplomas to the next group of graduates. Will row three please rise? Olivia Dench. Daniel DeCufa. Jacob DeCoyne. Emily Farrell. Megan Farrell. Amanda Ferrari. Matthew Formisano. Vanessa Galvez. Aiden Gleason. Will row 3, please be seated. Will row 4, please rise. Caitlin Gould. Edward Roku. Emma Ray Roku. William Hawthorne. Andrew Ramada. Nathaniel Inzarello. Kathleen Kelly. Serena Kilcommon. Will row 4 please be seated? I would like to invite our Board of Education Vice President, Mr. Ely, to the podium to present the diplomas to the next group of graduates. Will row 5 please rise? Leah Kilkenny. Jack Kleinman. Kai Krumhout. Gabriella Kuklinski. Jordan Lannard. Samantha Lanzetta. Colin Leslie. Christian Lewinrath. Paul Laguercio. Will row 5 please be seated? Will row 6 please rise? Jamie Luna. Emily McGee. Colin McGill. Catherine Marin. Lady Martinez Gonzalez. Maximus Mastro Piero. Jasmine Masulo. James McGonigal. Liam McGovern. row 6, please be seated. I would like to invite Mr. Hogan and Mrs. Patanjo to present the diplomas to the next group of graduates.
Will row 1 please rise? Victoria Meath. Grace Mintel. James Mintel. Emily Molina Reyes. Alyssa Marana. Lila Castro. Caitlin Nowak. Jovi Nowak. Jade Nolan. Will row 1 please be seated? Will row 2 please rise? Kaylee Nussbaum. John O'Brien. Riley Patanjo. Marcus Pegram. Stephanie Pesantes. Luciano Camara. Sydney Price. Mariana Quick. Melanie Quisby Peralta. Will row 2 please be seated? I would like to invite Mr. Maxwell to present the diplomas to the next group of graduates. Will row 3 please rise? Joseph Rera. Chantel Roche. Kaylee Roberts. India Robinson. Helena Roy. Jack Roop. Layla Sack. Alexis Sakalaritis. Will row 3 please be seated? Will row 4 please rise? Charlie Saravia Amaya. Liliana Schaefer. Alyssa Schifferstein. James Schultz. Kayla Sedano. Logan Spiller. Richard Spivak. Riley Stanek. Will row 4 please be seated? I would like to invite Ms. Rayburn to present the diplomas to the next group of graduates. Will row 5 please rise? Megan Sweeney. Christopher Tedesco. Dylan Tedesco. Sarah Triumpho. William Turnow. Marilla Baluzzi. Kevin Vivas Alvarez. Will row 5 please be seated? Will row 6 please rise? Devin Warnke. Danielle Weinhofer. Brennan Weinstein. Emily Wicks. Emma Wiegand. Philip Williams. Samantha Woolman. Will row 6 please be seated?
Please join me in congratulating the Center Merchant Middle School class of 2018. At this time, the 8th grade class president will address her fellow graduates, family, friends, and invited guests. Please join me in welcoming our class president, Megan Sweeney, to the podium.
During my years in middle school, I have noticed one common quality among our grade. We try to prepare for everything and can get disgruntled when it doesn't turn out how we planned. We have to overcome the idea that we can control everything, because we certainly can't. If we try to do everything at once, something is bound to fall apart. We can try and prepare for what we think will happen, and sometimes we have to be prepared for the impossible, because that can be everything and anything in life. And that's what makes life worth living. It's what drives us to be and create something outside of our comfort zone. If we learn to handle life one action and obstacle at a time, we can overcome this idea that we have to do everything and do what we love instead. If you think about it, there are countless number of ways that our life can go. So when people say we should start thinking about our future now, it seems absurd. And for the most part, it is. How can you plan for your future now when you're only 14? It's like trying to solve a math problem that you have never learned a solution to. Granted, it is good to have goals in life, but to think that you have everything planned is either crazy or a very organized agenda book. Once you step back and look back at your life on what you plan to focus on, you can do extraordinary things. I experienced that this year. It was with my travel soccer team, The Fire. Many of the players are graduating tonight. We had gone through so much in the past 5 years that we were together, and this year it was all worth it. Our coach, Michael Longo, had spoken to us throughout the season about the amount of effort that we put into the team and into our lives. One of his famous sayings was, "What you put in, you get out." And he is certainly right. Every member on our team had a dedication to the game, even if we were planning to leave the following season. We had worked so hard to get to this point. And with that dedication, we were able to become League and Long Island Cup champions. It was proof that what you put in, you really do get out. By finding what you love and chasing it, you can go beyond what is expected of you. And many of the graduates here have accomplished this. 2 of our graduates, Jimmy Mintel and Helena Roy, had made high school track state qualifying and finals with their high school teammates. That isn't all. In the music department, 3 of our graduates, Leah Kilkenny, Grace Mintel, and Lee Babstein, have been nominated and performed at the All-State Nisbet Music Festival. Even a large part of the high school play is occupied by the graduates here today. All of them have been able to find something they love and were able to embrace it. I want to thank the families for the support, and I would like to thank Dr. Reggio and the faculty and staff of the middle school for making such a memorable experience for us. Also, a thank you to a teacher that had impacted my schooling and life. He had provided lessons in and out of the classroom. The heart and soul of the middle school, Mr. Clancy. School happens so fast, but it hasn't sunk in until the last few weeks of middle school. The fact that most of us have been going to school for 9 years, and in 4 years our experiences together will be over. Let's not be scared for high school. Let's be excited, because this is when we will be somewhat kids and experience our lives the most. What's the rush? Let's enjoy the ride. Thank you.
Before we conclude this evening, I would like to share a few words with our graduates. Students, as I stand before you tonight, I am filled and overwhelmed with immense joy and pride in each and every one of you. It has been an absolute pleasure to be your principal for the past 3 years. I feel like it was just yesterday that I was standing right here at your 6th grade orientation, looking at your beaming and excited, yet nervous faces. Over the past 3 years, I have watched as you have matured and shined your light in our school and community. Your accomplishments are vast, your talents are limitless, and your futures are wide open, full of possibilities. As you continue your educational journey at the high school, I implore you to take advantage of all the wonderful opportunities that lie ahead of you. Join a new club, branch out in new social groups, try out for a sports team, volunteer in the Center Moriches community, and challenge yourself in rigorous academic coursework. You have already begun to do just that at the middle school. It is my pleasure to share that this class has set new milestones of academic achievement that have never before been achieved at Center Moriches Middle School. 60 of you took the Earth Science Regents exam last week. That is more than half of this graduating class. Of the 60 students, 50% of you that took the Regents received a grade of 90 or higher. 72% of you achieved an 85 or higher on the Regents, which is mastery. And you accomplished that with a 100% passing rate. 49 of you took the Algebra Regents, 98% of you scored over an 80, 63% achieved mastery with a score of 85 or higher, again with a 100% passing rate. Students, you should know, the Advanced Regents Diploma rate for Center Ridge's graduating seniors has more than doubled over the last 7 years, the fastest growing increase in New York State. I will be tracking your progress at the high school, and I am confident that Mr. Stewart is correct. This cohort will surely set a new bar for Center Ridge's high school seniors, and the class of 2022 will be one to remember. Each year in June, I pray about what I want to speak with you all about tonight. Over the past 5 years, I've shared personal stories, but when my sister called me earlier this week to tell me that she is still receiving phone calls about Michael, I knew I had to share this with you 8th graders today. My sister has 3 kids. I know that many of you have seen their photos on my desk. Her youngest is my nephew named Declan. He is 4 years old and just finished his first year of preschool. At his preschool, they have high school seniors that work in the classroom for a few hours with the students, and they call them the big helpers. This year, Declan's big helper was named Michael. Michael was a tall, confident, quiet 18-year-old boy who Declan looked up to from the very first day of school. What Declan didn't know is that Michael had been heading down a very bad path. He was known for being completely insubordinate through his years at the middle school and high school. His teachers knew him as a student that often cut class. This year, he lost his campus car privileges for speeding and erratic driving on campus. He caused a scene at the high school almost every day and was not on track to graduate. Most recently, the police had become involved. Every day at preschool pickup, as Declan would run out of the walker door to his mom, my sister, he would look back and wave, shrieking, "Bye, Mike, I love you." Every day, Mike would say nothing and kind of waved back. As the year went on, Declan and Michael grew closer. By the end of the year, my sister was sending me videos of Mike carrying Declan out of the school on his hip, waving and yelling back, "Bye, buddy, I love you too." On the last day of school, this week, Michael came into the preschool wearing a button-down shirt, khaki pants, and boat shoes, a vast contrast to his previous attire. Now, Michael has his driving privileges back. He looks different, acts different, treats his teachers with respect and kindness, is attending and actively participating in all of his classes, and he is on track to graduate this week. His high school teachers are confused. They don't understand the transformation, and frankly, the complete opposite behavior from September to June. And so, one by one, they asked Michael, "What happened? How did you change?" Apparently, to every teacher that asked, Michael told the same story about a little boy named Declan in the preschool class that changed his life. My sister was calling to tell me that she keeps receiving phone calls from the high school, teacher after teacher, explaining that they're calling to let her know the impact her little 4-year-old boy had on a high schooler named Michael. As my sister was telling me about all of these teachers that are calling her, I couldn't help but feel like I wanted to talk to Michael myself and ask, but how? What did Declan do that changed you? What did he say? How did a 4-year-old change you so drastically? Now, trust me, he is my nephew, so of course I'm biased. I do think he's pretty special and amazing. But I have thought a lot about what I think Michael would say to me. Perhaps he would tell me it was because Declan loved him fiercely from the day he met him, regardless of his past circumstances. Can you imagine what this world and your high school would be like if you all just loved each other regardless of your past mistakes or decisions? Now granted, Declan was too young to know Michael's mistakes, but that is the beauty of the story and the reason for the pureness of his love. We can all show each other pure love and kindness as children do if we make that choice. Or perhaps Michael would tell me that he changed because he knew Declan looked up to him and he wanted to be a positive role model for Declan. Or perhaps Michael would tell me that he changed because he looked up to Declan and Declan was a positive role model for him. Students, please remember that at every age, you can inspire others. Do not underestimate the impact that you can have on others at the high school, even if they are older than you, especially during a stage in your lives when the pressure is so great to conform. At a time in life when it seems the most important thing is fitting in, there is bravery in deciding to stand out by setting an example. One of my very favorite verses for children begins with, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example." That is exactly what I believe Declan did at preschool and exactly what you can do at the high school. For some reason not specifically known to us, Michael credits Declan for turning his life around. Was that Declan's goal in preschool? Absolutely not. He wanted to sing songs, make friends, play with blocks, and color. However, you never know who is watching, and in this case, it was an 18-year-old that was headed down a path of destruction. As you walk through the halls and speak to students older and younger, as you walk down Main Street and into the pizza store, never underestimate the impact you can and may be having on another person's life. Students, I would also like you to think of this story from another angle. Think about Michael. Now, I don't know anything about his home life, his friends, or his childhood, but clearly he was struggling. Many of you on stage today have spoken to me over the past 3 years about real life obstacles and problems, some of which have been completely out of your control. Many of you have suddenly and excruciatingly endured loss and pain and have endured much hardship in your young lives. Please know that Michael was also struggling, but he did not let his past circumstances define his future possibilities. I have told many of you that in my office, and I am reminding you of that tonight. If you have struggled in middle school or in your personal life, remember, your future is yet to be written. Your story is just the beginning. Next year, you will begin to write a new chapter, the chapter of high school in Center Moriches. Start fresh. Make changes in your life if need be, just like Michael did his senior year. Your past circumstances do not define your future. You are all bright, smart, and talented, and can be anything you want to be and do anything you want to do. Be a Declan that helps change others' lives by being kind and loving, even if to the world it is an odd pairing or a one-sided love at first. Be a Michael who, despite a clearly rocky past, decided to be respectful, kind, and make important and necessary changes in his life. Center Moriches Middle School Class of 2018, congratulations, I am proud of you, and I'll be a hallway away if you need me. Thank you. Ms. Pinto, I invite the middle school band to play for our recessional.